I'm NEISHA and I'm a fashion designer. I've been creating fashion most of my life, so I started when I was about 5 years old and I used to make hand sew clothes for my Barbie dolls with my grandmother. Then I bought my first sewing machine when I was 12 and I've had my label for about 7 years. At Raw this evening I'll be unveiling my Summer 2013 collection called Summer Frolicking. So it's a really vibrant collection using a lot of the fabrics that I have from the community I work with in West Africa, so lots of batiks and a collection of my own sort of hand dyeing in there as well. I guess as of lately the most important thing for me has been my commitment to humanity and the environment within my production processes as well. Everything's done from a real space of love with that, so I'm using where I can organic fabric, zero waste cutting techniques, which means that there's no offcuts. And if there are offcuts, then that will be used to make accessories, or anything that's left after that will go to a local manufacturer of boxing bags. And I also, with the community that I work with in West Africa, send 5% of my sales back to that community, just to help them build their sustainable businesses as well. My design process is really quite organic. I never really know what it's going to be. I just sort of start with a cloth and a mannequin and just let it evolve from there. My inspiration is so vast and I never really know what it is. I think it's a combination of just my life, so the musicians that surround me, the culture, arts around me also. I guess for me, my inspiration just comes from getting into a really open space so that when I'm sitting there with a mannequin and the cloth and me, I can just let it all flow. One of the most interesting things about the way that I work is I sing to my fabric before I cut it. For me, it's really important that anyone who wears my clothing feel really uplifted by it. And I think, you know, when I'm making the piece of clothing for someone, I'm wrapping them in my energy. So I try and keep that energy in my studio as positive as possible, and I dance around and burn them essential oils and just have a nice time. I believe the best compliment I've got on my clothing, I hear it quite a lot, is just women telling me that they feel really sexy wearing it. There's one dress in particular that just hugs every curve and it just makes any woman look incredible, whether she's a little bit overweight or really skinny or tall or short. Yeah, it's really beautiful watching a woman come in and feeling quite insecure about her body and leaving feeling like the sexiest woman on the planet. My aspirations for the future are really to make my label as ethical and sustainable as possible, to also educate people about the way that fashion is produced on a mass level as well, and the impact that that has on the environment and the people making the clothing. So it's a very huge consideration for me. Yeah, well, in the next 5 years I definitely want to be selling internationally. I feel like it's time to let this baby of mine shine, so it's a really huge goal of mine. More collaborations with textile artists from all around the world as well. I think there's just such a wealth of talent out there that isn't really being shown the way that it could be. And I'd like to dress Beyonce. That's going to happen, I just don't know how. If you want to find out more about my label, go to neishaclothing.com. My name is NEISHA and I'm a raw artist.